Giving all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. This is the Shema with your bro Shi'yah and your brother Gabar and my brother Gabar. All praises and all glory to the Most High. Today's class, and before I start, I want to make sure that we exhort those who are keeping the laws, who are laboring for this truth, who are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. I want to give double honors to all of those who are going out and doing the best that they can to push the word and bringing his kingdom together for the Most High. That being said, today's lesson is called "We Are a Nation of Kings and Priests." Ooh. We are a nation of kings and priests. That's like today's lesson.
I like it.
And so, yes, all praises. And so today, we're going to start out in the book of Hebrews chapter 4. We're going to just read chapter 4 and chapter 5, and we're going to bring some precepts with it because I've been talking a lot about how we are to conduct ourselves. I've been talking a lot about self-motivation, self-preservation, holding yourself accountable. I've been talking a lot about all these things. Now, we cannot get to those points until we realize who we are. We have to realize that we are priests and that we are kings, okay? And a lot of this confusion that we have going on in Israel is where people, listen, we are a trodden down people. We're coming up from nothing. It's hard for a person who's been in a hard position their whole life to all of a sudden have this perfect idea of serenity or this perfect just perfect values or just being perfect and doing everything. We're going to make a lot of mistakes. But what we got to realize is that we are a nation of kings and priests, and we have to live up to that standard that's here in the Bible, because this is what the Most High is telling us that we're going to do. This is what he's telling us we're going to be. So let's start by reading chapter 4 and verse 1 of the book of Hebrews. And we're going to start on this journey, and we're just going to try to break down this Bible the best that we can to show our people what we need to be and where we need to be in this truth and what we need to be doing. Whatever your denomination or what you believe in, you need to get that out your head. We're gonna go script by script and help our people to learn what the Most High wants them to do. You know what I'm saying?
I'm excited. I like this lesson already.
Whenever you're ready, you can start, young sir.
You said Hebrews 4 and 1?
Chapter 4, verse 1.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 1. Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it.
Stop right there. He said, it says, let us therefore fear, meaning we need to make sure we take this very seriously. There's a promise that was given to us. There's a promise. Now, I'm reading this too. I want y'all to understand that certain people in the theologian aspect or seminary aspect, oh, this is for everybody, brother. No, we're talking about Israel. He's going to over and over again, and we're going to give you the precepts to let you know that he's talking about Israel. So if you're out there and you know that you're Israel, he's talking directly to you. There's a promise that he's going to give you, but you got to be ready for that promise. Read on.
Verse 2. Matter of fact, verse 1 from the top. Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached.
Stop right there. For unto who was the gospel preached?
For unto us was the gospel preached.
He's talking about Israel. Go ahead.
As well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it.
So it says, as well as unto them, everybody's going to hear it. It says, but it didn't profit them. Now watch this. Read the next verse.
Verse 3. For we, which have believed, do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world.
Stop right there. Although the works were finished from the foundation of the world, he said you were already ordained to be priests. If you would just obey him and listen to what he has to say and practice it and do it, he said you're going to be good. Although it's been ordained for me and this brother Gabar, it's been ordained for us to be priests. It was ordained. All we have to do is take hold of it, the same as you have to do, right? He says, so you already have the blessing. You just have to do it. Go ahead. Read the next verse.
Verse 4. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise. And God did rest the seventh day from all his works. And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest.
He said it twice. He said, if they shall enter into my rest. What does that mean? If they would do what I'm asking them to do, if they will obey my words, if they would heed to what I'm telling them to do, because remember, there's a contingency there. If they do this, watch this. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief.
You see that? Some of us in the wilderness did not believe. Some of us, when Christ came, did not believe. We don't enter into the rest because of what? Unbelief. What is unbelief? You just choose not to do what he's asking you to do. You're choosing. This is for those of us who are choosing not to do. And we're going to get the precepts to a lot of these, because there's judgment for when you choose not to do. There's judgment for these things, y'all. Things are going to happen to you when you say, you know what? I'm good. I'd rather not do it. But read on.
Verse 7. Again, he limiteth a certain day, saying in David, today, after so long a time, as it is said, today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts.
You see that? He said, if you will hear his voice, harden not your heart. Meaning, don't put this off. Don't try not to do this, right? Why do you think he keeps telling us to listen or to obey him or to not harden our hearts? It's for a very specific reason. Go ahead.
Verse 8. For if Jesus had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day?
Of a what?
Of another day.
So if Yahushua had given us rest, what is that rest? That rest is starting to obey the law, statutes, and commandments. That rest is starting to train your mind into what Christ is telling you, right? Go ahead.
Verse 9. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. For he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works, as God did from his.
So he's telling us, when you enter into your rest, you also cease from your own works. What is this trying to tell us? This goes into routine. You guys, we have to really structure ourselves in, when the Sabbath comes, in putting that day aside for him. Making sure when you start structuring your mind to keep the Sabbath day, resting on that day, it's going to help you to get through this walk way easier, way better. It's going to help you in a lot of things, because once you get your mind trained to enter into his rest, you're going to be like, okay, I'm cool. This is his day. I'm cool. I'm chilling. And it's going to start to make sense. A lot of things are going to start to make sense. These are things that priests practice. These are things that priests do, right? Go ahead.
Verse 10. For he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works, as God did from his. Let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief.
So it says, unless any man follow into the same example of unbelief. Matter of fact, before we finish that, because this verse 12 is probably one of my favorite precepts to go over, but let's get an example. I want you to go to, because we're coming right back, because we're going to read chapter 5 as well. It's very short, but I want you to go to 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. Let's get some clarity.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation.
Or a what?
A chosen generation.
We're a chosen people. Read.
A royal priesthood.
A what?
A royal priesthood.
When you act royal, do you carry yourself like a nigger? When you act royal, do you carry yourself out of malice and petty squabbles? No. he's showing you that we have high standards to live up to because we're royal. So we have a high bar. He's setting a high bar. If y'all don't understand this, he's setting a very high bar for us to reach, and it is attainable. Go ahead.
A royal priesthood, a holy nation.
A what?
A holy nation.
That is a whole race of people that's living separately than everyone else in the world. You are priests and kings. Read.
A peculiar people.
A what?
A peculiar people.
A peculiar people are people who are doing things that the rest of the world is not doing. Go ahead.
That ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
When we're called out of darkness, we're called to come out of the ways of the world, are we not? These are things that we're doing that is not like everybody else. But he said he's calling you out of darkness. What do you think darkness is? Celebrating the stuff that we celebrating here, like, all the regular wicked holidays that people celebrate, doing all the wicked things people do. No, we are a peculiar people, a royal people. Go ahead.
A peculiar people that should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people.
Were what?
Were not a people.
He's showing you that these are people that are changing into this royal priesthood. These are people that used to be the lowest of the low, the scummiest of the scummiest, the baddest of the bad. But it says people who are now, they're changing into something that's being desired by what? By the Most High, because of their works, because of what they're doing, because of their faith. Go ahead.
We're not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy.
Stop right there. See, it's telling you we didn't have mercy when we were living in the other ways, but now we have mercy because we are that royal priesthood people. Okay, this is the mindset we have to get. Go back to verse chapter 4 and verse 12 of the book of Hebrews. Because now he's showing you this is where these people come from. This is where these people didn't start out royal. We didn't start out being royal. We didn't start out being perfect. No, we are changing into that, right? So guess what? You got to get cut. You're going to have to get you're going to have to get taken down a few notches before you can realize your potential to live up to that bar, right? Well, watch this.
Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Stop
right there. This is telling you, why is it telling you that the word of the Most High is sharp and quick and is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword? This precept will actually help you get your life together. But first, you got to be broken down by it. You have to be broken down by this, and you have to humble yourself to this precept. You have to acknowledge when you get cut. You have to acknowledge when things don't go your way, when things are a little bit much for you. You need to acknowledge that. You're gonna get cut. You're gonna get broken down. Things are gonna happen. You're gonna lose all types of. You thought you was the man. These are things that you're gonna lose. This precept is showing you that. It said it's able to discern of judge. It's able to discern. What is that part where it says it's able? It is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So your mind and your heart is going to change, but you're going to get cut first, right? And you're going to grow from those cuts. Mm-hmm. Those cuts are going to heal. Those wounds are going to heal, and it's going to make you a better person, is it not? Mm-hmm. But you have to understand it in that vernacular. You have to understand what he's trying to tell you here, right? Fine. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do.
So everything is naked. Naked is sin. Okay. When you're in nakedness, he's telling you that everything is naked and open. It says naked and open. It says unto the eyes of him of whom we have to do. Who are we going to live up to? What standards are we setting for ourselves? The standards that we're setting for ourselves are those that's laid out for us in this Bible. That's why nakedness is sin. You have to understand when you're doing something wrong to heal and grow from that. If you're a person who you don't think you've ever done nothing wrong, you are not in the right place. You need to go somewhere else. So we have to acknowledge these sins. We got to acknowledge ourselves so that we can change, so that we can become those people, right? Read verse 14.
Verse 14. Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our profession. For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin.
Stop right there. And he said that the part that I want to touch on, he said, it says, which he cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, right? It tells us, what is an infirmity, first of all? The definition of infirmity, it says a physical or mental weakness, right? And it says that Christ was touched on every point, but he didn't sin. We're going to be tempted on a lot of these infirmities. We're going to be tempted with a lot of these issues. Now, sometime we're going to fall, but we are still to get back up and to keep moving and to keep striving to do better. I learned something on today, for example, on how to deal with my children better. I got a group of children. I got 5 children. None of them want to talk to me because of this truth. And my wife was like, well, you have to keep, talking to them and trying and, just talk to them and da-da-da-da. And I'd be like, well, it hurts me. It makes me feel this type of way. She said, look, and this is something my wife told me this morning, Brother Gabar, and it made me think. That's why I thank the Most High that he put the Ruach on both of us. Because when I can't see, she can see. What she said was, she said, do you know that you're going to be hurt with your children in your life and if they out of your life? Because when they come in and you start trying to talk to them and y'all start trying to get a relationship, they're going to hurt you then too. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
She was right.
Yeah.
Was she not?
Yeah.
You're going to get hurt. She said, so you might as well get used to it. And you might as well, even though they're not responding to you, you text them, they'll text back sometime. And she said, you need to keep doing that, from time to time to show them that you still love them, to show them that you're thinking about them. She said, yes, it hurts when you text and they don't say nothing or whatever. She said, but you're going to be hurt with them in your life and you're going to be hurt with them out of your life. So you need to learn how to do it now. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay. And I heeded to what she said. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing that. You see that? You see how that works? Mm-hmm. And look, we don't have a choice in this. We have to show the world or be the light to the world, including our children, including our loved ones. We have to be that light. And sometimes it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But it is what it is. But go ahead.
Verse 15. No, verse 16.
Oh, 16?
Yes.
Oh,
let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need.
You see that? It said, let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of what? Grace. Why is it saying this? Because you need to be able to show grace. What my wife was talking about was grace. She was talking about showing that grace. You want grace, right? We want grace, right? But we have to be able to exude that grace. He said, the throne of grace. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace. What is a throne of grace? That's an abundant amount of grace given to everybody that you come across, everybody that you're dealing with, people that are hurting you, people that you're going through things with. It's given a throne of grace. It says that we may obtain mercy, right? Because if we have grace, we're going to get what? We're going to get that mercy and find grace to help in time of need. So you're going to get some grace when you start practicing on long suffering, on temperance, on everything of the fruits of the spirits in Galatians chapter 5 that it tells you, when you're going to get that grace once you start practicing that, and it is going to hurt. These are facts. Let's get a precept. I want you to go to Exodus chapter 19 and verse 6 before we go to chapter 5. Because a lot of people think that, we just want to be this, we hate going through stuff, brother. We hate getting that hurt. We hate feeling in a certain type of way. Sometimes doing the right thing does not feel like you want it to feel. Sometimes doing the right thing for us as being priests, things are going to happen. Okay. It's not going to be exactly how we want it every time. But watch this. This is what he's explaining us. This is what he's explaining us in this precept that we are. And this is where you need to put your mind. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 19, verse 6. Matter of fact, can I start at verse 5?
Yeah. And I got both 5 and 6 marked, so you need to.
Okay, I do too. Exodus chapter 19. So we're going to start at verse 5. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
Above all people, for all the earth is mine. He's making a difference between the kings and priests of Israel and everybody else in the world. And here's the thing. Everybody can't come with you. And when we say everybody can't come with you, understand every other nation can't come with you. Because we got people on doctrines that, now I don't believe in treating anybody bad, but we got people that are on doctrines that's saying, well, they hate Esau and they hate Moab and they hate Ammon and they hate, look, the Bible say what it say. He's talking about us being a light to them, but we have to get ourselves together first. So this is what this is talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation.
A holy what?
And an holy nation.
Nation is a race or nationality of people. Go ahead.
These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Unto everybody.
Unto the children of Israel.
Unto Esau.
Unto the children of Israel.
This is to the children of Israel. Understand these things. We're trying to get our minds together, y'all. We're trying to get our minds right. And we can't get our minds right with the other nations in dealing with them, right? We have to get our own minds together. Now, when you go to work, I'm not telling you to go to work and smack Esau behind the head and be mean to Moab and say mean things. That's not what we're about. But when we understand that loving ourselves is not hatred for another race of people, that's when we're going to get somewhere. Loving yourselves and becoming a race of kings and priests and loving your nation is not hatred for anybody else. I love what the Most High love, and I hate what he hate too. But the Bible says move like what? Be as cunning as a serpent and as harmless as a what?
Yes, sir.
People don't understand this Bible when it's coming out, and they want to make it to be what they want it to be.
Yeah.
And I can't make it be what I want it to be. I'm going to make it say what the Most High the Ruach is having me to say, whether I like it or not. I want you to go start at 5 and 1 of Hebrews.
The book of Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 1. For every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining to God, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sin.
Stop right there. He's telling you about the order of high priests. The title of this this chapter is The Priests of Yahushua, right? So he's telling you how you're going to be ordained to be a priest, how you're going to be taken from among men, and what you're going to do. He's giving you the duties, your own duties that you're going to have to follow. Watch this. Read verse 2.
Verse 2. Who can have compassion on the ignorant?
Wait a minute. Wait, you're going to have to read that again. You're going to have to read, because he's showing you what you have to do to be a priest. He's showing you What he's showing you what I was talking to you a while ago about what my wife told me about my children, how that I had to have that compassion, how regardless of how I feel. He's showing you this right here. Watch this. Read that again.
Verse 2 from the top. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 2. Who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out of the way? For that he himself also is compassed with infirmity.
Stop right there. We have infirmities. We have weaknesses. We have things that we're working on. That's what an infirmity is. It's a mental or a physical weakness, right? We already have these things, but it says who can have compassion on the ignorant? We have to do that when we already have infirmities. I'm sure my brother, I'm sure my brother has his own infirmities, things he going through. We both are not without those, but guess what? He's still a priest. I'm still a priest. So he's giving you your vulnerability. Like, yeah, this is what you have, but you're going to have compassion on the ignorant, people that don't know. My children are the ignorant. They would be up under that guideline, right? Now, read the rest of that.
And before we go any further, before anyone feels offended at the word ignorant, it simply means that you just don't know.
That's all it is.
It doesn't mean that you're stupid. It doesn't mean that you're dumb. It doesn't mean that you're uneducated. It simply means that you don't know.
The unknowing. That's right.
And let's shoot from the top. Who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out of the way? For that he himself also is compassed with infirmity. Verse 3. And by reason hereof he ought, as for the people, so also for himself, to offer for sins.
So you see that? That's showing you. Now, this is talking about a priest now. It says you also need to offer as for the people, but also for himself.
Yes, sir.
So that's talking about us, right?
Yes. Yes.
So we got to have that. We got to understand that. So just because I'm a priest and he's a priest doesn't mean that we're without sin, but we still have to. This is a duty we still have to do. You ain't no better than me. Probably not, brother. But we still got to do this duty.
Probably not.
Still got to do it. Regardless, I'm probably not better than you, brother, but I still have to be this priest. And these are my duties I have to do.
God.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. And no man taketh this honor unto himself, but he that is called of God, as was Aaron.
So he said, no man taketh this honor to himself, but he that is called of the Yahweh, as of Aaron. Now, for 1 second, brother, what was Aaron called to do? Aaron wasn't really ready, right?
No.
Aaron was supposed to assist Moses in all of his duties. That's what Aaron was called to do. When Moses went to Pharaoh and he threw down the staff and it turned into snakes and ate the other snakes and he had to do all this, Aaron was right there.
Aaron was right there.
When Moses went up to Mount Sinai and he was up there fasting for 40 days, 40 nights, and the Most High was giving him the law, statutes, and commandments, and he was bringing them down to the people. Aaron was waiting at the bottom of the mountain, and he actually messed up.
Yeah,
he actually messed up, right? So Aaron had to make some offerings for sin. Aaron probably wasn't doing what the people were doing, but he did let them do that. And so Moses was like, say, man, what's going on? I left you in charge here. And you letting these people do this stupid stuff. So we have the same duty as Aaron. And we will make mistakes. But even though Aaron made the mistake, was he still not a priest?
Yeah.
He was still a priest.
That's his job. That was his job.
And even though we make the mistakes, we're still priests. Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 5. So also Christ glorified not himself to be made an high priest, but he that said unto him, Thou art my son, today have I begotten thee. As he saith also in another place, Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Stop right there. He said, Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Now, I'm going to show you guys something. Melchizedek, they say, well, what is that? What is Melchizedek? And a lot of people have a lot of this mysticism around Melchizedek. Melchizedek is a dual position of the royal priesthood. It's a dual position of king and priest, right? And then let's go get a precept real quick. I want you to go to Psalms chapter 110, and I want you to read from verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 110, the 110th Psalm, the first verse. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion.
Out of who?
Out of Zion.
This is our people that this priesthood is going to get handed to. Read on.
Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies.
So we're going to rule all the other nations. This is a future prophecy given by David. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. In the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth.
Now watch this. Read on.
The Lord hath sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
You see that? The Lord has sworn, and it says he will not repent. This is something that is definitely going to happen. We are going to be the priests after the order of Melchizedek. It's a dual priesthood. We're going to be kings and we're going to be priests. Most High is going to put that spirit on us like he's doing now, and he's going to make us into that royal people. And he's going to make us to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, people. Read on.
Verse 5. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath.
You see that? Go ahead.
He shall judge among the heathen.
He shall judge among who?
He shall judge among the heathen.
Read on.
He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries.
You see that? So he's gonna judge among the heathen because they're gonna be committing atrocities, but we're gonna be that order of Melchizedek to help get this world in line. Go ahead, read on.
He shall drink of the brook in the way thereof. Therefore shall he lift up the head.
So he's letting us know that this is going to be a worldwide thing, to where we're going to be priests after the order of Melchizedek. We're going to be those people. The Most High is not going to repent of what he said. He said, I promise you, this is going to happen. Regardless to what's going on in the world today, whatever wickedness is happening, this is going to happen, and you're going to be a priest after the order of Melchizedek. So that's going to be something very powerful that's going to happen, that's going to happen in the near future. And y'all have to realize that. Y'all have to understand that. This is something that's going to happen in the near future, okay? But go ahead, read the next verse. He call it out and read it.
Can I get a couple of things?
You absolutely can.
Okay. Going back, my brother pulled out Exodus 19, and that was very plain. It made it very plain. 19:6, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So we know that this kingdom of priests, this holy nation, is not everyone, because he made it plain at the end of the verse where he said, this is who you say this to the children of Israel, right?
Right.
And then my brother went and got, and I mean, it's like, I'm not a good pool player, but it's like when everything's lined up and you could just knock them right in, right?
For real.
And it says what? And he shall judge among the heathen. Right?
That's right.
Go to Revelation chapter 1.
Gotcha.
The book of Revelation chapter 1. Go to verse 6. Because one thing my brother's pulling out right now is he's showing that this is one of the main functions of Israel. We're supposed to be a nation of priests. What is the priest's job? The priest's job, your pastors, your ministers, your priests, your preacher, so on and so forth, their job is to show you the way of God, is to lead you down that direction, to shed the light on the path of how to make God happy.
That's right.
To please your God, to live a godly and righteous life, right? And what the Most High is saying, especially in Exodus 19, he's saying directly to us, this is who you're supposed to be to the rest of the nations. Say that. To the rest of the nations. Give me that in Revelation chapter 1, verse 6.
This is the book of Revelations chapter 1 and verse 6. And it reads, and have made us
Stop right there. Stop right there. See, he made us. So he made us. Who is us? Go back to the Exodus 19:6, and it's telling you who the us is.
That's right.
It's the children of Israel. He made us a whole nation. He made us what? Read on.
And hath made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
So he made us kings and priests. This is in Revelation. So whoever feels like, man, you know what? The Exodus, that's in the Old Testament. You can't get no more New Testament than Revelation.
You sure can't.
Right? So in Revelation, he said, he made us this. He made us this. What he say in Jeremiah? I formed you in the belly before you even came out. I already made you. I already knew you. I already talked to you. I already ordained you to be what? Kings and
priests.
Now, what are we supposed to do as kings and priests? Stay in the book of Revelation. Go to chapter 5. Go to chapter 5 and go to verse 10.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 5 and verse 10. You want to start at verse 8 or 9 or verse 10?
You know what? Start with verse 9.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 5 and verse 9. It says, and they sung a new song, saying, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou was slain.
Stop right there. Stop right there. So we know that that's Christ.
That's right.
Christ is the one that's worthy of this.
That's right.
Hamashiach Yahawashi. That's who's worthy of what? Worthy to take the book and open the seals.
That's right.
Thou, he was slain for our stead.
That's right. For our stead. And has redeemed us to God by thy blood out of thy kindred and tongue and people and nation.
So he being slain, he redeemed us out of every kindred, every tongue.
That's right.
And people and nation. So no matter where you go, you know what you're going to find in the ghetto? If you go to Russia, you're going to find us there.
That's right.
You know what you're going to find in the ghettos of China? You're going to find us there. If you go to North, South, Central America, who you find in the hood? You find us there. Right? We already understand that that's us, who he's talking about. He's redeeming us out of these nations, from being the oppressed and the repressed and the downpressed. He's redeeming us. Redeeming to put back to where it's supposed to go.
To bring back. That's right.
So if we down here, our stock was down here, right? The Most High, when Christ come back, and when the Most High send Christ back, Christ gonna set us back up here.
That's right.
So this is the redemption that we talking about. Read verse 10. And when he redeemed us, this is what we gonna be.
And just a number for to piggyback off of what he just said, we're in the high places too, but we're destroyed.
But we're destroyed.
Some of us are in the high places and some of those high society places too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not just in the ghetto, but they're really destroyed. The ones that's in the high places that got money, they really destroyed.
They really destroyed. Right.
Verse 10. And has made us unto our God kings and priests.
Now, as these kings and priests, a priest's job is to show you how to make things right with the Most High, how to live a righteous life. But what does a king do? What is his job? Read on.
And we shall rule on the earth.
That is our job.
Yep.
That's our job. We're supposed to rule on the earth. But how do we rule? We don't rule as a king, because kings just rule. They collect taxes, they take wives, they take land. No, we're supposed to rule as if we are what? The priest.
That's right.
Leading everything back to the way the Most High wants it to be. Giving all glory and all honor and all praise to the Most High. Shedding light on the directions that this law, statutes, and commandments are supposed to lead us down.
That's right.
That's us ruling and reigning as kings and priests.
And priests. Woo!
That's all I wanted.
Man, listen, brother, that's an excellent precept. I'm going to get a precept to go with that real quick. Go to Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 6. Man, that went right in line to what that went so perfectly, man. Now watch this. That was perfect, brother.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 6. But ye shall be named the priest of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves.
Wait a minute. Wait. So this is a future prophecy right here. And by the way, this is what, when you go to chapter 4 of Luke, Christ was talking about this, you know, and he was saying, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. And when you go to verse 1, but he's saying that the Gentiles, that we're going to eat the riches of the Gentiles. So in this order of Melchizedek, or in this priesthood, this cannot be for everybody. This cannot be for everybody, because it's telling us that we're going to eat if we're going to eat the riches of the Gentiles, this shows us that we're going to be a different people. We're going to be showing people how to walk. Yes, we're going to be kings, but we're going to be priests. What does a priest do? Like my brother said, he shows you what to do. He shows you how to walk. You see that? That is so powerful. You go back to Hebrews chapter 5 and get the rest of that. That is a good, man. That right there, bro. All praises, brother.
The book of Hebrews chapter 5, I'll start at verse 6 again. As he saith also in another place, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard in that he feared.
In that he what?
In that he feared.
He said strong cryings and supplications. So he did a lot of praying and he did a lot of fasting. It said he subjected himself to put himself in order to do what the Most High was telling him. It says in that he feared. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered.
You see that? So now this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. We are learning obedience by what? Our suffering. We're learning obedience by the things that we're going through from day to day. Don't harden your heart when somebody do something to hurt you. Don't harden your heart. Find out a way that you can serve in being an example to that person. Because that's what I did in the very beginning. I didn't know how to deal with my children. So I hardened my heart and I said, I'm not going to even deal with it. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to even do nothing. I ain't going to never call them. That's hardening my heart. My wife said, no, don't do that. Now you're going to have to hurt with them and without them. So that's going to involve you still, even though they're not there. Because remember, the ignorant, we're supposed to have mercy on the what? On the ignorant too, right? So even though they're not there yet, guess what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to, with fear and trembling, I'm supposed to still show that love to where whenever they decide to do or to get right, and I know I'm speaking to somebody out there, whenever they decide to do or get right, guess what? You're there with open arms. You're still there with open arms, and you never rejected them. They rejecting you, but you never rejected them. So now your conscience is clear. You see that? You see how that works? But go ahead.
Verse 9, and being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him.
All them that what?
Unto all them that obey him.
Read.
Called of God and high priest after the order of Melchizedek.
You see that? This demands your obedience. This demands for you to stop, to put away your personal squabbles. If we're going to be priests, we're going to put away our personal squabbles, and we're going to, with fear, with trembling, and with love, we're going to go forward, and we're going to do this. We're going to do this priesthood. It's not going to be easy to walk in these shoes, but guess what? You're going to learn to do this. Read on.
Verse 11, of whom we have many things to say, and hard to be uttered, seeing ye are dull of hearing.
You see that? So he's saying, I know some of y'all ain't gonna hear this. He said, I'm saying this, but some of y'all are not going to get this understanding because y'all ears are real. Y'all got stuff in the ears. Y'all got that cotton in the ears. Watch this.
Verse 12, for when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God.
See that? Stop right there. When you need to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again. It says these are the first principles that you need to look at. Go ahead.
And are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat.
So what does it mean when you have need of milk and not strong meat? When you're on this priesthood, becoming a priest after the order of Melchizedek, you need to learn to take baby steps first. You're gonna get better and better as you go along. But you're going to get better by doing the simple things first. The hard things are going to come later. You see that? The more difficult things are going to come later. Go ahead.
Verse 13. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness.
So when you start putting yourself together, you're going to be unskillful at first. When I first went to my children, I was unskillful. I thought I knew it, but I didn't. I was unskillful, and I wasn't ready for that fight. And I got my butt whipped. I got a spiritual butt whooping when I first came to my children. But go ahead.
Verse 13 from the top. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason to use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
You see that? Now I'm a little better because I've had myself exercise. I've had my skills exercised. I've been in this Bible and I'm letting it change me through the spirit, through the Ruach. I'm starting to change. And now I have more wisdom. So I'm able to deal with things. And not only just wisdom is not just learning things, people. Wisdom is actually starting to humble yourself and understand and just listen. Sometimes wisdom is humbling yourself and just being able to listen. Some men won't even be able to listen to their wife or listen to somebody who they think is below or beneath them. Mm-hmm. But in my wisdom, I am able to listen to my wife on certain things. And I have the spirit of discernment in me. When she says certain things, I'll be like, yeah, that's okay. That sounds right. I'm still the leader, but I have enough humility in me to know if I'm doing something that may be counterproductive. Okay? And there's a judgment for people who don't, when you choose not this priesthood or you choose to go against it, there's a judgment for this priest, for going against this priesthood. And we're gonna get that out of Hosea. This is gonna be the last precept, but we're gonna get that out of Hosea chapter 4. You got anything, brother?
I do. I got a couple of scriptures. You got one that I'm like, man, I'm so right now. Going back into what you said in in Hebrews chapter 5, verse 11, of whom we have many things to say and are hard to be uttered. You can't even speak these things to people sometimes.
That's right. That's true.
Seeing, when he says seeing, he means understanding.
That's right.
You are dull of hearing.
That's right.
Right. Go to Matthew chapter 13 and
Matthew
give me 13.
Okay.
And let's start at verse 13.
This is the book of Matthew.
Wait. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 11.
Verse 11?
Yes.
Gotcha. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 11. And it reads, He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
So for those of us who have the understanding, it is given to us. Why? Because we're taking the time out to study and learn. We're humbling ourselves down. We're trying to kill the old man constantly, right?
That's right.
Steadily, every day you battling with yourself. Like the brother pulled out. The priests offer offerings and sacrifices and gifts, not for the people only, but for himself also, because we understand that we're not perfect. You're not better than me. You know what, brother? I'm not. I never said that I was. I don't even believe that I am. But I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday.
That's right.
I'm trying to be a new man. The old man I was yesteryear, I don't want to see him no more. That's no matter how much better you might have known me when I was 20, and you might see me today and say, man, you are a changed man. Guess what? The man you see today, I'm trying to be better than him tomorrow.
That's right.
That's the goal, right? So these things are some of these secrets and these mysteries are constantly being unlocked for us because we're trying, we're shooting for the best.
That's right.
Constantly striving, constantly struggling, constantly killing that old man, constantly trying to pick up the new things that make us more like Christ, right? Read on.
Verse 12. For whosoever hath, to him it shall be given.
So if you have this understanding, guess what? More understanding will be given to you.
That's right.
When you take the time out to learn the laws, when you take the time out to understand the prophecies, when then you go to Christ and he's unlocking them as you reading it, because you understand this Old Testament, now Christ is unlocking more and more of it for you.
That's right.
Read on.
And he shall have more abundance.
Read on.
But whosoever hath not.
So for those who you don't want to hear it. You don't want to get it. You don't want to say, you know what? I was wrong. I didn't know. I was the ignorant. I didn't have that understanding. I was never taught that. I never learned it.
That's right.
You know what? I never heard that I was a Hebrew before. Hey, I thought it was only 10 commandments, and then I thought that those commandments were done away with. I didn't know that we were still under the commandments of God. Right. It's okay if you didn't know. It happens to us all, right? So then he says, to them who didn't know, go ahead.
From him shall be taken away, even that he had.
So all that you think you have, all this goodness, all that righteousness, all that holiness, that personal relationship that you think you have with Jesus Christ is being taken away because you're not even trying.
Yep.
You don't want to submit yourself to the will of the Most High.
That's right.
Read.
Verse 13. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see, seeing not.
See, because this is what I'm saying. When he unlock it, he give you that parable. And if you don't have understanding of this part, then when he hits you with that parable, you're not going to have an understanding of that part.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And hearing, they hear not.
We don't hear. We it's like when someone is giving you instruction, you hear the words that they're saying, but you're not listening and digesting any of that.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Neither do they understand.
Neither do they what?
Neither do they understand.
And that's the problem. This is why the scriptures say we got to be doers of the word and not just hearers of the word. Because when you hear it, it's just the words. But when you understand it, something in you says, I got to do that.
That's right.
I got to be that. And then you start walking in those, you start trying to walk in the footsteps that Christ already walked.
That's right.
You start looking for that guidance in these words. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 14. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Elias, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand.
So y'all hear the word, but y'all don't understand it. Read on.
And seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive.
See, they see these words, but they can't perceive it in their mind what it's really saying.
That's right.
People can't, especially our people, we see these words, a holy nation. We see it above all nations on the face of the earth. We see it.
Yeah, we see it.
Kings and priests, we see it, but we don't, but it's something in our mind that cannot perceive. We just can't understand it. Read on.
Verse 15. For this people's heart is waxed gross.
It's waxed gross. It's waxed grossly more and more darkened, more and more misunderstanding, more and more lost, more and more misguided.
Wow.
Read on.
And their ears are dull of hearing.
And they're what?
And their ears are dull of hearing.
But then when somebody's giving you the truth, you can't even hear what they're saying because you're in the box that your religion gave you. You're in the box that grandmama gave you. You're in the box that your dad gave you, or the box that your mom gave you, the box that your PhD or your bachelor gave you, right? These are the boxes that you put yourself in, and you say, anything outside that box, I can't hear that.
That's right.
But when so this is why when the scriptures come out, it sounds foolish. This is why the scriptures say that the spiritual things are foolishness to the physical, to the carnal man, right?
Yeah.
Read on.
And their eyes they have closed.
So he closed their eyes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears and should understand with their heart.
And what?
And should not convert it. And be converted. And I should heal them.
So this is how you get healed. You gotta open your eyes. Read, what did the scripture say? Is that what that says? That's what that says.
That's right.
Shi'yah didn't write this. Gabar didn't write this. Whoever is giving you understanding and instruction, if they hitting you with these scriptures, we didn't write it. We read it. Guess what? It cut us the same way it's cutting you.
That's right.
So you having your understanding darkened when you don't want to accept it, when you don't want to see it, when you don't want to hear it, when you keep yourself in that box that, like I said, Big Mama, your church, your religion, your education. When you stay in that box, you're never going to get it because you say that this is it. That's all that I have.
This is it.
That's the understanding, right? Read verse 16 for me.
In verse 6, before I read verse 16, just to piggyback off what he just said, when you go 2 chapters over to Matthew chapter 15 and verse 24, he said, and he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So we cannot superimpose this and say this is for all nations.
The whole world. You can't say that.
Sent to Israel. That's who he's talking to here. He didn't switch gears. But I guess
I knew you was gonna do it, big bro. Go ahead.
Verse 16. That's the Ruach. That's just the Ruach.
That's all that is. All praise.
All praise. Verse 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
So a lot of you out there that are watching this on this live right now, I'm sure a lot of you you may be in the truth, maybe for a couple of weeks, maybe for a couple of months, maybe for a year, maybe for several. But if you're here and you're tuning in, you're trying to open your eyes.
That's right.
You're here, you listening to us, you trying to open those ears. That's so right. This is why Christ is talking to you directly and you feel it. And you say, you know what? I got to do better. I got to be a king. I got to be a priest. I'm part of that nation. Right? And this is what my brother's going into. I got one more precept I want to get, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
So give me 1 Corinthians. It is 1 Corinthians chapter 3. Is it 1 Corinthians 3? Let me see. Yeah.
Is it 3 and 18? What is it?
Let me see.
3 and...
Dang, I lost it. It was on point too. It was right with what you had.
Is it talking about let no man deceive you if any man be among you that seem to be wise? Or is it the one where it says that now he that planteth, and he that watereth? No, that ain't all.
I found it. It's 1 Corinthians chapter. No, it's not. It's 1 Corinthians chapter. I think it's chapter 3. I lost my page.
Was it going to talk about every man's work shall be made manifest?
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 3, start at verse 1. I knew I had it.
3 and 1. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 1.
Yes.
And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Christ.
So stop right there. So remember in Hebrews chapter 5, my brother had pulled out Hebrews 5, 13 and 14. It says, for everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness.
That's
Deuteronomy 6:25 explains to us that the commandment is righteousness.
That's right.
Right? For he is a babe, but strong meat belongs to them that are full age. Right?
That's right.
Even those who by reason of use, when you use the milk, when you use the meat of the scriptures, have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. Read 3 and 1 from the top.
And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Christ.
See, we got to give you understanding on a carnal level because you're not thinking spiritual.
That's right.
When we say, oh, we're supposed to be a nation of kings and priests, people immediately go on, so, oh, you being racist, or you being this, or you being that. No, I'm not. What I'm being is I'm being a child of the Most High, keeping the commandments, and this is what the scriptures say.
That's right.
Right? Read on.
Verse 2. I have fed you with milk and not with meat.
Read.
For hitherto ye were not able to bear it.
So if me and this brother was giving out the deeper, darker sayings, it would go over a lot of people's head. They wouldn't get it.
That's right.
They would be confused. And we're not trying to confuse our people. We're trying to bring them out of that darkness, right?
That's right.
So you couldn't bear the milk. We couldn't bear the meat that these scriptures have.
That's
Read
right.
on.
We'll go from the top. I have fed you with milk and not with meat. For hitherto ye were not able to bear it.
Read.
Neither yet now are ye able.
Now, even with your PhD and your bachelor, even with all the years you done went to church with Big Mama and everybody else, you still really don't get it. You still don't understand it.
That's right.
Read on.
Verse 3.
Why can't they get it? Read.
For ye are yet carnal.
Because you're using you thinking in this physical flesh. You're thinking in the materialized world.
That's right.
This is a spiritual book. So if you're reading this book and you thinking with this right here, or you thinking with this over here, it's not going. It doesn't register. It doesn't relate. Go ahead.
For whereas here is among you envy and strife and divisions, and are ye not carnal and walk as men?
See, this is the problem, because when we think in our flesh, we can't understand the scriptures. It doesn't register to us.
That's right.
When you think in materialism about your money or your education or the things that you can hold and feel and touch, these scriptures go over your head. It's too much. It's overwhelming.
That's right.
Or it just completely sounds like foolishness to you.
Yep.
So you need to drink this milk. Take the simple things first.
Yep.
Understanding that that you yourself, you are supposed to be a king and a priest, leading people to the Most High, leading people down the path of the righteousness according to law, statutes, and commandments. This is our job. This is who we are. Whether you like it, love it, hate it, guess what? We, Brother Shi'yah and Brother Gabar, did not write these.
That's right.
We got it the same way you did. Guess what? It cut us the same way it's cutting you.
That's right.
That's all I wanted out.
That's a good precept. Good precept. I want you to go to Hosea chapter 4 and start at verse 1.
The book of Hosea. Ooh, chapter 4 and verse 1, huh? I see you are. The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
Ye children of who?
Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
The vernacular does not change. He's still talking to us as kings and priests. Go ahead.
For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. You see that? He said he is upset because there's no truth, no knowledge, and there's nothing, no knowledge of him or nothing in the land. There's judgment for these actions, y'all. Keep reading. Verse 2. By swearing and lying, killing and stealing, and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood. By hurting each other, beating up each other, killing, lying, and stealing, breaking commandments, and blood touching blood, black on black crime, our people hurting our own people. These are things that makes the Most High angry. Go ahead. Verse 3. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beast of the field, with the who? With the fowl of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away.
So all of the meat that you think you want, all of the everything that you think that you're going to get, because these sins are being committed and you're not following that priesthood, these are judgments that the Most High is putting on us. Read on.
Can I add something?
Yes.
And that's in that very precept, when you think about it, because the kings and the priests that the Most High have ordained to rule and reign and to teach are not they're at the state that they're supposed to be in. Look at what he's saying. Therefore shall the land mourn. Right now, the earth is stripped of its natural resources, no matter what part of the world you go in.
That's right.
Right. And everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, meaning they're crying out, they're sad, they're disappointed, they're hurting, things are not right, and we know it, right? Now watch this. With the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fish of the sea also shall be taken away. This is why so many animals right now are extinct. This is why so many animals, this is why the whales are beaching themselves. Yep. Everything is out of course. Basically, what it's saying, everything is out of course now. The whole earth, the animals are out of course. The fish are out of course. The birds are out of course. People are out of course. Guess what? The earth in itself, something's wrong with everything. Why? Because we are not in our natural state of where we're supposed to be at.
That's right.
Kings and priests.
Like Psalms 82, the earth is out of course.
It's out of course. Verse 4, let no man strive, let no man strive, nor reprove another. For thy people are as they that strive with the priest.
That strive with who?
That strive with the priest.
So we got a lot of people that are striving against us, that are going against us, right? So they don't want to be reproved or corrected. They want to do what they want to do, and they want to continue to mock the priest of the Most High, like they do to us every day. But go ahead.
Verse 5, therefore shalt thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night, and I will destroy thy mother.
You see that? So your head, everything is going to get destroyed. It says your mother, it says the prophet at night. Who is that prophet? Those wicked preachers that we're dealing with, the wicked of us that are Israelites that we're dealing with. Everything is going to fall. Now watch this. Verse 6.
Verse 6, one of my favorites. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
They're destroyed for what?
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Now watch this. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me.
That thou should be no what?
That thou shalt be no priest to me.
For us to do this, we as priests, we have to have knowledge. We have to read this Bible, y'all. We have to get that understanding, because we're not priests if we don't do it. Go ahead.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
I will also forget who?
I will also forget thy children.
So when we forget the law, that is a punishment on us generation after generation after generation. We get a punishment because we don't listen, and we don't be priests to him because we don't listen to this law. That's how important this priesthood is, y'all. Go ahead.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. What has
the Most High done to us now? Our glory has been changed into shame. Why? Because we don't want to keep no laws. Why? Because we want to do what we want to do. We want to live after the ways of the heathen, and so we get punished for that. But go ahead.
Verse 8. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways and reward them their doings.
So everything that you do, you're gonna suffer a judgment for it. Everything that we do of our own will, walking after the imagination in our own hearts, there is going to be a judgment for that, people. Go ahead.
Verse 10, for they shall eat and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed to the Lord. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart.
So all these new inventions, everything that we want to do that's not of the Lord, wine and new wine, and we not taking heed to his word, these things are going to bring about calamity. This is where we are now. So we have to come out of that, y'all. We have to become priests. We have to become the kings that we are, right? Our women have to become the modest women that they can be. We got to put away all this foolishness and start being these priests, right? After the order of Melchizedek. We got to start doing this, y'all. If not, this is the judgment that awaits us for it to continue to keep happening. And it's only going to get worse. You know, the Most High said it's only going to get worse in this state is not going to last forever. We're going to be judged on this, y'all. You know, but those are the precepts. I hope you guys got a good understanding. I hope y'all understood what we were trying to bring out today. Thank you, Brother Gabar, for everything. You've offered some wonderful precepts. You offered a wonder, man. It came together like peanut butter and jelly. You know?
You know how we do it, big bro.
But
all praise to the Most High Christ, man.
All praise to the Most High and Yahweh Shai. And with that, we say shalom.
Great lesson, big bro.
Thank you, brother. All praises to the Father, brother.
All praises.